Hello, everyone. You are tuning into the Duchess of Unicorn YouTube channel, and my content is found on a public domain. As you know, you're looking right at my browser right now. I'm in the United States, and I am, if you don't already know, I am perusing the internet to chat up a little bit and share my thoughts about the Mexit, Meghan Markle, Prince Harry royal family debacle. Now, I don't know what the hell is going on with these people. However, it seems like it's a very, 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 very deep rabbit hole. And maybe that's the allure of it because it's so complex, so many layers to it. And being a person who's just like you, looking at the headlines and surmising things and sharing opinions, and everybody has one, and there's no law against having an opinion. So sharing it makes the most sense because keeping it to yourself just makes you nuts. And it's such believable craziness that you really can't, at least I know I really can't tell 100% who is really the conspirator here. It's so complex, so many levels. So today I'm looking at the New York Times online, newyorktimes.com. As you can see, you're right along with me. And of course, I'm going to share this for entertainment purposes. And of course, this is for adults only, not for children. And the other disclaimer is all my content, as you know, is found on the public domain. And I'm just offering my opinion for entertainment. It is entertaining, I just want to say, but it's also compelling because it's almost on the verge of being addictive because we're all so bewildered and baffled by both of these two characters, where we have a prince born into a royal family, a young man born into a royal family who is a natural prince by blood. And then we have someone who is called a commoner, and she's biracial, she's from America, and she came out of left field. Almost like, how I relate it is almost like you hear in movies of an assassin when you're watching a drama coming out of nowhere, like somebody just in a back room punches a code into a certain phone number or text or throwaway phone or what have you, and the phone is activated, and the person on the other end or persons are all activated at the same time, and that person and whoever else becomes a bounty hunter, right? Like you've seen these people become assassins. Like they seem like they're having like a low-key regular life, and all of a sudden their phone rings a certain way and a code is activated, or they're sent a code in text, and they just all of a sudden pull out all this high-tech stuff and they start traveling the world, right? And getting to their destination, their target. So in a way, my mind feels like Meghan was activated and she was informed that now's the time, and she put herself in place and she made sure she's with all the right people, and somebody has assisted her. Because let's face it, you can't get near a prince without having somebody else who knows him or a group of people and who suggests that it's okay or it's fine to go forward with a meeting, or perhaps she was met him by happenstance and then steps started to go forward. But it really seems very strange that this could just be a one-off deal, somebody in Meghan's position being an actress in America and having very few friends in the UK outside of Marcus Anderson. Because it's, when I was doing some researching and reading online in different articles and interviews with him, there was one particular, I don't know if it was called The Coveter, Yeah, coveteur.com, coveteur, that he had stated that he was born in Ontario, I believe, or he was born in Petersburg in Canada, okay? And he lives in Ontario, right? Or grew up in Ontario. But then he moved to England, he moved to the UK. And so he has ties, of course, all over the world, I'm sure, because he opens these Soho houses, probably helps, acquire membership. And there's no shortage of greedy people. There's no shortage of people who believe they deserve to be in certain situations or surroundings. So he has a job that I don't think is that hard. If you are a person who is promising these types of people complete anonymity, and that you do keep your word, which is fundamental, right? Because if you make a promise to certain people and they have certain power, you won't be around very long in your position, whatever that position is. So there's a tie, obviously, there to Meghan being able to, go over to the UK. However, not prior to, after her marriage to Ingleson, when I guess things kind of tanked, did she start really seemingly more and more be seen in photographs with Marcus Anderson. And it's just really strange that when you see a picture of Marcus Anderson with Meghan's dogs, and he's like saying on his page that he's a father, and you see this photo of him with Meghan's two adopted dogs, you think, what? Okay, wait a minute. I thought she had to leave those with a friend. Well, I guess maybe we should have thought that is the friend, Marcus Anderson. And he says those are his dogs. And maybe they always were. Maybe they were their dogs at one time. So you can't find too much right now, and I'm still digging about Marcus Anderson and the fact that he claims he's a father on his Facebook page. He's a father to somebody somewhere, and he's a friend, and he has these descriptives. And yeah, you can see that he has some friendships, and nobody really knows how deep friendships go. Sometimes it's just acquaintances. But for this particular article in the New York Times, it says Prince Harry, no special treatment in Canada. Now, Prince Harry, I think, is going to get kicked in the gut in terms of how this is going to come back at him. All this really, it's very sticky. It reeks of conspiracy. It reeks of conspiracy theories. It reeks of evil. It reeks of greed. It reeks of just manipulation on a huge grand scale in terms of even the public. And even you wonder if people within the royal family have been had by Miss Markle. And now I have no idea. Again, it's just gossip. It's theories. It's entertainment. It's opinions. It's just, it goes so far down that rabbit hole that nobody really can answer any questions except one person, and that's Meghan Markle. And even with her track record, I doubt 85% of the people that would hear her discuss what's going on face to face, like say she decided to do an interview, as if she can, as if, right? I don't think 85% people will even believe her. She's really burnt bridges herself in terms of people are not going to want to work with her, and people are going to work with her cautiously. That's my belief. So now they're saying Prince Harry will have no special treatment in Canada when he settles in there. I personally don't believe he's going to settle in anywhere. And if he settles in anywhere, he's going for perhaps and I'm not sure, but I would think that he'd go for a position maybe his family is going to make or invent a position for him, or he's going to qualify just because he's a prince with so much experience of traveling and so many diverse people and cultures, that he would be qualified in essence because of the duties of his life to be maybe a governor. I don't see him being a mayor, but maybe a governor, prime minister, definitely. But I just feel like I'm not really sure that the Canadian people are going to have that, because I think they're going to associate that with too severe of a change from going back in time to when Canada was ruled directly by the monarchy. And so was America. Let's face it, the United Kingdom has a lot, the British royals have a lot to do with the America as well. And they're interwoven into American culture and history. So I think that is said that the monarchy of the UK has a lot to do with a lot of other cultures and places within the world that it has conquered. And I've said that before. So Canada may feel like, we're not going back to crap. We're going to go forward and be semi-independent, separate from, and we don't want no stinking monarchy taken over on us. What we want is we want to be what we are now and maybe better. And I don't know, maybe Canada won't accept them. It seems like they're trying to spin it to be that they really don't want to take on these two, because there's a wake of destruction right now. Anything they touch is not gold. It is actually like fool's gold, because although it seems, well, obviously they have money because of the monarchy, and Meghan had money. Today's standards, a few $1,000,000 is not everything. People who pay their mortgage at the end of the life of the 30 years have paid millions of dollars out in their mortgage between fees and financing and your mortgage and interest. You've paid $1,000,000 out. So what is really interesting is that Meghan wasn't as rich as one would think, like she's not Jennifer Aniston. She's not, right now I'm can't think of anybody that's an actress that is super, she's not Julia Roberts. She hasn't played any leading roles mainly except Suits. And Suits was on a B level station or channel. And it was a channel that years ago, like when I was a kid, I remember it. And it used to have like really weird B movies like The Blob. And it had funny shows like Up All Night. And it wasn't a channel that really, I did see it when I was a kid, when I was younger, but I wasn't into the channel. It's not CBS. It's no channel that anyone should be like, yeah, that's the channel I'm on. Yes, it happened to be able to take off with a certain type of crowd, that she was able to be the main protagonist in that series. She's the main character. But I feel like at her age, she had come to the end. And I've said that before as well. So I feel like they're making her seem like she was really wealthy. And she was wealthy in the terms that, she had a few $1,000,000 in assets, and she probably had a lot of little things like jewelry and stuff. She never owned a house because she rented her houses. She seemed like she was more down to earth in that way. Even if you look back at her jewelry, it was pretty low key. It wasn't like it is today. And as soon as she got a new paycheck from a new acting gig where she was the main character or the co-main character, her paycheck, her demeanor, her attitude, and her character is just so different from what you see when you look backwards. She seemed more down to earth. I hate that word, but more humble, more real, more authentic, more close to what she appears to try to act like she is today. But I think if you go back and look at when she was at the TIG and even push further, look at and study her photos, look at what she's wearing, look at the demeanor. If you see any movies or videos, look at her. She just doesn't match today. On the other hand, and I know I'm getting off target a little bit, but when you see her today, yeah, she has to be a little bit more polished. And I'm sure it's super tense and in a place where they don't accept you. Let's just cut that whole thing out like she was accepted. No, that woman was not 100% accepted. She might have been accepted in the way that, okay, look who Harry is with. Let's find out about her. So you have that kind of introductory period where you are getting to feel somebody out. But I bet you behind closed doors, she could hear snickers and she could hear things under her tone. She can see those side eyes and she realizes, I am not born of royalty and these people are not having it. And how that builds up animosity and puts a burden on you. So I don't know if her change is because of that. And then she puts on an act in front of the common people. And I hate that term too. But the everyday person that's out here, you and I, just observers in this weird play, this weird world play that they're doing, we can't ever really know for sure. So we don't know. And it seems to me that as I look back at like all of a sudden over the years, she's been like mentioning Serena Williams more. And over the years, if you go back just a touch before she started with Prince Harry, you'll see pictures and photos of her. But you won't see her with any like major stuff, like except for Serena Williams. She's a famous tennis star. She's an athlete. And she maybe hit it off with Meghan, or maybe they have something in common. But you didn't see her with or mention Beyonce. You didn't see her with the Clooneys. You didn't see her in a photo, not once, nowhere, with George Clooney ever. You know, I could go on and on and on and on and on and on of different people, like Victoria Beckham. Did you ever see her in one photo with Victoria Beckham 7 years ago? 10 years ago? Never. 5 years ago? Never. So, you know, you obviously see something tied with Prince Harry and a lot of PR stuff. And then you also see her PR or other PRs trying to kind of mingle with her because now she has a little bit more clout in terms of being through Prince Harry. And also she is giving the impression that she has power. Now, I really feel like she might have a little bit of, it's more manipulation, it's more assumed power than it is pure power. And she quickly realized that she wasn't going to be there very long. And who knows what is said and done behind closed doors. We don't even know, honestly, if she's frightened. Like, is she running scared, but keeping a certain face? Does she have friends that are helping her to exit in a reasonable way? You know, like, again, exit, leaving in a certain way, but she had been planning up to it. Did she think about it and sit down with Prince Harry and say, you know, you never really wanted to be in this family anyway, so why don't we just split and let's make our plans to do that? So we don't really know. Come on, let's face it, everybody. We do not know. We would like to know, and we also research and get our information, and we gossip about it, and we talk, and we share our opinions. But at the end of the day, Prince Harry did not call me up, and he did not tell me the inside scoop. And so Meghan seems to be pretty smiley, but I kind of feel like she's acting for her life. I feel like this is a world stage, and I feel like maybe there's not even a baby. Maybe there's not even a baby. I also know, and maybe there is, but I feel like anybody who becomes a mom, and although you don't want the child to grow up in front of people, like you're showing the world your child, you shouldn't be hiding him in the terms that it seems like it's a lot of sepia or black and whites. It seems like it's a lot of different faces. Like people are starting to realize with the last photo of the baby Archie that the features would they weren't right, meaning the features looked like they were photoshopped, so they weren't right because they looked like it was a cute baby. But people are starting to look at those features and kind of do improvisions in those, thinking that, oh, the ears and the eyes and the forehead don't look the same as the first, second baby picture or the third or whatever it is. We're only given a few pictures. That way we can't really go crazy with it. And they can always change babies, let's say. As the baby grows, they grow and they do change. So the less pictures they share less photos, the less we have to refer back to. And then they can still chalk that up to how babies change and how quickly they change. But yeah, they can change skin tones. They can change skin tones. You've seen a child born really, really light complected and get a little darker, and vice versa. I've seen darker children, more deeper tan, more darker melanin in their skin, darker skin color, and lighten up when they're teens or preteens. Well, we know he's not a teen, but what I'm saying is it is possible for your skin tone to change. And especially with babies. Features change fast too. So maybe that's why we only have, trickle down, 5 photos, and some of them, if not half of them, are in black and white. And we only get obscure views, like a side view from, 100 feet away. So, that's always to keep the baby and always, out of our scope, and also to keep saying that the baby just changes, But I seriously wonder if there's a real baby. And by the way, if there is a real baby, what does he really look like? And why do we have to pretend it's Prince Harry's? So with all this going on, and I keep going back because those are the things I'm most bewildered with. But as we go forward, now Canada is saying, wait a minute, you're going to be treated no different than any other person that's coming to Canada. You're not going to be treated any different than new people coming into the country for residency. I hardly believe that, but they're saying that in this particular article for the New York Times, they're saying they would need security, that they could consider security being an issue, that they could need security. And that really stinks because now you're asking another country to flip the bill for more stuff. And what happens if they do in Canada what they've done in Britain? So when they do that to the UK people and they go to Canada and they build a house or they take over a house or they lease a house or someone lets them borrow their house and they only stay for a little while, they hire a whole bunch of people for jobs and services and it goes well for a while, and then all of a sudden some next catastrophe happens and Meghan puts out something else that is dissatisfying. Then do those people lose their jobs like the people at Frogmore Cottage just recently did when they were all let go by Meghan? Do they end up not, they're unemployed and not having another job to go to because it was too quick? Or maybe they want to build a house in the beautiful country of Canada and then they up and leave, and there's a big problem by leaving. Maybe they don't like it there anymore because people aren't being, agreeable with them in Canada enough for their liking. So they want to go somewhere else. And next door is America. And I certainly don't want to be extra taxed because the government then says, okay, President Trump has now left his office and Meghan and Trump don't mesh. And so she now feels like she wants to go into politics, or maybe Prince Harry now wants to be a private citizen and go into politics, maybe in America. And they become this quote unquote power couple. that means that the United States could be next on the list of places or gardens to traipse through and squash all the beautiful flowers and make a mess and, dehead flowers and then say, you know what, we don't like it here either. You guys are not agreeable enough. Or maybe they just make a nuisance of themselves and visit places and parts of the country that people are like, get out. We don't want your caravan coming through here. We don't care to line the streets to see you. We barely go to the Thanksgiving parade anymore in New York City. Why do we need you? Is maybe they're going to go to the New York City Thanksgiving parade and show Archie like he's a balloon on the Thanksgiving parade. So I don't know what the heck would happen, but I'm not feeling that this is anything positive. My intuition tells me that they could skip Canada and come right into the United States and do the same damage that they may do in Canada that they definitely did in the UK. And listen, the American people, let's just be honest, the economy is not good. I don't care what you hear about Trump. The economy is not good. He did not send everyone a check in their mail because he's cut taxes so far. We did not get checks in the mail because he did some great, enter a new law or got rid of Obamacare or Trump care and then gave us a new, shiny new coin for our bank. He did nothing for the American people except, I guess, what he thought the American people needed. That is a little bit of a side note, but according to Meghan, she's not trying to bump into Trump at all, ever. She doesn't care for him, and I don't think she's willing to fake that situation. And I think if she was made to fake that situation, she'd be hard-pressed not to show it in her face. Otherwise, she would be an extremely great actress, and then therefore should win awards. But this Mexit thing it's just like they're going to leave a wake of destruction in people's hearts and minds and actually physically. I mean, are they going to have their caravans come into town? Don't get it twisted. These people are not going to take up a house in Canada somewhere and be chill and like not have a brigade of security and not have like people trying to take pictures and see them and not actually have people maybe arrested or what happened. Maybe she'll sue people because people are going to want a picture. So where are you going to live? Out in the boondocks? Probably not, because she's not a boondocks type of girl. She wants that public eye, but she wants it from afar or where she wants it to be. And I just feel so bad because I think the hearts and minds of people are going to be trampled on because there is no way that this is normal. This seems very conspiracy-like. The seeds of conspiracy theories are planted and stuff is growing. And so Canada doesn't seem like they really want to take the chance that this may happen. And then, of course, you hear Trudeau say, yes, you're welcome, you're welcome. We'll see. We'll see. I just think it's really interesting. And I think if you could peel back the mind and the heart of people that are in certain positions and status in that country and in the UK, to see or read what they really feel and think. I would think even the people that seem like they are copacetic with her, her whole thing that she done, everything, all her plans, the suing, marrying Harry, the cost, the Frogmore, the not Frogmore, the palace, the not palace. Prince Charles likes her and thinks she's Tungsian, strong, and then that he really doesn't care for her, how William's being bullying to her, but then they all come out with a statement that's not, because somebody put their foot down, and then when that person put their foot down, Queen, did other people shift gears, and it just seems like it changes and flips too often. It's like when you see a puppet show. You see the strings, the show is entertaining, but you do see the strings, and then after you watch a show or while you're watching, you're thinking, this is pretty cool how they do this, or this is really interesting. Those are well-made puppets. And then you realize I'm watching a puppet show, and up top of those strings are two sticks that someone's just manipulating back and forth. And I'm sitting here and I paid for the show. And what am I don't I have something better to do? And you start to analyze things as someone that's just interested in finding out more about these people. And you start to wonder what the heck you're doing being so deeply pulled in. And to me, it says a lot about magic. It says a lot about conspiracy theories. It says a lot about manipulation, deep state, deep Nexit, deep everything. This is a rabbit hole, and I'm sure that even the layperson will be taken into it if we allow each other to do so. So it doesn't require that we have to say we hate anybody, or because we don't really know Meghan Markle to hate her or not. But what we can say and judge and think and feel and gossip about and think about is her actions speak louder than words. And Prince Harry is right there. He almost seems like he has just taken a back seat, which I'm sure, as strong and dominant as Prince Philip, his grandfather seems, I would think that he would cringe at this weak persona that's being portrayed, because I always remember Prince Harry as being approachable and friendly enough in terms of when you take pictures and when you see interviews with them, and likable, but he also didn't seem weak to me ever. He just seemed like he was a prince, handsome enough, kind enough, intelligent enough, has all these, things and opportunities that he could have in front of him. And he's gained confidence because he's behind so much money and so much power. Queen Elizabeth and all her minions that work for her, there must be a huge team, or maybe there's a small, powerful team. So my point is that Prince Harry never seemed to me to be weak. Not in the terms that we're looking and we're watching and we're seeing right now. And it seems like they're putting he's a feminist hat or face in front of that. Meghan walks in front of him. She seems to be the main role player, and he has just taken a back seat. And maybe that's what he wanted, but wasn't that what he was with his brother? Kind of a backseat driver type of thing. So why would he want Meghan to come and be in the front seat if he was in his brother's shadow and he supposedly might have wanted to come out from behind his brother in his own way? How is turning the control over to another person who's dominant or domineering or just more assertive in a better position? Because I don't get that part. He has enough power and confidence and, ability to do a lot of things he wants to do. And I guess when you have a queen who's supposed to be super powerful and super otherworldly powerful, you would think that you either be too frightened to remove yourself from your position and you just say, this is what it is, I'm going to do the best I can with it, and marry a certain type of person that also can meld in with your family, instead of someone that you feel is too assertive and aggressive and who may put you out there. And so, again, we don't know what's going on, but we do know that it seems like a lot of people are distancing themselves from Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and Prince Harry seems to be taking a back seat. Meghan Markle seems to be pushing forward more and more and more. I don't know. She wants to eat the world. Eat the world, ingest the world, and spit us or shit us out. In terms of taxes, liabilities, opinion stories, conspiracy theories, money and greed. Except we're all still wondering, where's that person that was the ladder climber in her acting career, who was willing to do a 90210 scene in which she goes down on one of the characters in the show for 90210. She was willing to put her face and her likeness and her career and take a check for going down, appearing to go down in a movie or actually a show called 90210. So why would she do that if she was so like snobby or uppity? She isn't. She's always seems to me, when you look back at her younger days, 20s, 30s, if you follow her up, she doesn't seem what I'm seeing today. She seems like someone who really wanted to make it as an actress and who spent her entire career outside of being, in the consulate, for a minute, or the embassy for a minute, and having a little bit of politics in her blood, to doing this big drawn out Broadway show, which went to the world stage, starring Meghan Markle. Well, Meghan is really Rachel Meghan Markle, and Prince Harry. Ta-da! It just seems like it's just such a far, it's like someone gave her a check and told her, this is your greatest acting scene. Do it. Okay, so I went really long on this one, and it was really me just doing a lot of rhetoric and a lot of gossip and a lot of thoughts I have, and I had to pour that out because I have been MIA, like Bob Pass said, for a few days, and that's because I was working on some other projects and nothing to do with videos for YouTube or anything, but just working on some other projects and being self-employed, and that's how you have to do that stuff. But as far as this, I really missed you guys, and I'm so glad there's a whole little bit of you out there that has subscribed and who actually watch, and I appreciate every single view, because it makes you feel that when you're doing these videos that someone is out there and they're listening and you're heard, and we have some kind of thing going, and you are also in sync with some of the things that I'm saying. And if you're not, don't be mad, because if we're not in sync, that's okay, because that doesn't mean every video we won't be in sync, just like it doesn't mean every video you'll agree with me. But I hope you understand and enjoy this little corner of mine, and the Duchess of Unicorn will be back. I'll see you in the next video for sure. Please subscribe or like. I'd appreciate that so much. All right, see you in the next video. Bye.